Last week, the big news that we were talking about was the whole Claude watermark thing. That was brand new. Anthropic says Claude is going to be inserting watermarks when you're using it. And so a lot of people have been up in arms. Then we come to find out Gemini apparently has already been doing that. And we know ChatGPT won't be far behind. So I've got several videos where we can learn a little bit more about this and how it'll affect us. So I'm going to first start with this video.
Claude is watermarking by changing the distribution of tokens. So your tokens are drawn from a distribution. I don't know if you knew this. It's not a linear thing where they pick one token off the assembly line and that's the next token. It's actually a distribution. And so Claude pulls the next token from a probability distribution around what the next token should be based on tokens so far. That's how it's always worked. Now, when you are trying to put a watermark on something, what you're doing is you're shifting that distribution and you're shifting it a secret amount. And so there's a cryptographic hash, it shifts the mask of the distribution a little bit. And so it basically looks like the curve goes from here to here, and you would never know because it doesn't change the semantic meaning. It's still inside the picture that you're trying to paint when you want the AI to come back with a story. And so it's still going to sound like the same story. The narrative is going to sound the same. You won't really be able to read it and tell, but very subtly, the distribution of which tokens have been picked has changed. And so the concern that people have is that when you do that, you open up a lot of other downstream risks that aren't well thought through. And by the way, the reason they say they're doing this is the EU regulation, but the EU regulation doesn't require them to go as far as they're going. And so I find that interesting. So anyway, they are doing next token prediction, masking, which allows them to watermark something. They can see absolutely everything that Claude has generated. What does this allow them to do? This allows them to, one, know exactly where Claude is being used anywhere in the world. Two, it allows them to know when companies are using Claude for documents, et cetera, and make the case to companies, maybe you don't need as many people. Three, it allows them to have a piece of IP conversations if they want to have them and if the EULA allows them to. Now that last one, Anthropic may not be interested in, but the IP conversation is going to be really relevant for code bases everywhere, because code bases are suddenly going to be like, okay, how much of this code was written by Claude? Now we can tell. Let's apply this cryptographic hash and let's see how much was written by Claude. And now you're going to have conversations about IP rights. You're going to have a conversation about how much of the code base is something that we want to use. Can we just recreate it? It's going to open up a whole mess. Now, is Anthropic doing some of those things now? They are not. They say they're just doing this to comply with the EU regulation. I am not saying that they're going to companies and saying, look at all of your documents that are using Claude, but it is certainly on the table for them to do that. It is certainly on the table for anyone to do that who has the cryptographic key, not just Anthropic. They can go and make that claim. And what's problematic about that is anyone who has worked in knowledge work will tell you, if everything that goes through Claude, including my ideas, ends up with this cryptographic hash, it may look like it was Claude's work, but it was me. It was my ideas. It was my thinking. It was not Claude's. And Claude may have put some semantic meaning on it or maybe arranged it in a sentence, but it was my thinking, it was my ideas that got there. And so I think that the other risk for this is that people will start to misperceive a cryptographic hash as authorship. It's not authorship. It never was authorship. This is a writing tool. It's a token prediction tool. That's what's going on. And as a bonus risk, one more thing, if you're technical, if you're shifting the cryptographic hash, why would your code be as clean and as elegant as it could be? It might not be. It might not be the cleanest, most elegant solution because you're using the cryptographic hash to shift the distribution. It might not be the cleanest solution technically to the problem. So there's a lot of issues with it. And yes, the EU did require watermarking. So some of it is required in the EU specifically. That doesn't mean it has to be worldwide. It doesn't mean it needs to be on every single thing that Anthropic puts out. This was a choice by them. And it's a choice everyone should know about.
I don't understand half of what he talked about because it's quite technical, but it's just interesting And he's like one of the top experts, so I trust anything he says. So it's interesting that he says they're not really using it yet. I know when Anthropic put the information out recently, they said they were going to start with their newest model. And then I think with the other models that everybody currently uses, it sounds like they're going to start. I don't think it'll be retroactive. I don't know. But it's just interesting that they're saying it's because of those EU restrictions, but he just said, yes, but. So, any thoughts on that before I play the next video? Because I didn't really understand a lot of that.
Yeah, I didn't understand a lot of that either, but
it's
sure.
interesting. It's interesting
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah,
And
no, it's good.
And it's sparking conversation.
Mhm.
And many times when I see kind of things that are super techy like that, I just go through the comments because maybe somebody will dumb it down a bit. He put out another video. I think this one's less techy.
So I'm getting this question a lot, and the answer, very unfortunately, is yes. If you upload your own original IP, your own work, anything you've authored yourself, and you say, hey, Claude, can you make this edit to it? Or, hey, can you spell check it for me? Something really minor even. When it comes back, what Anthropic has told us is that they will have watermarked that text. Now, I'm not quite sure how that will work in situations where you say, for example, please copy this out word for word exactly as I have given it to you. And the only exceptions you have are in cases where it's typos. Looking at the way they've described their watermark, it seems like it would be difficult for them to enforce a watermark and also follow instructions. But they have said they will find ways to watermark every single thing that comes out of Claude, and I think we should believe them. I think we should take it seriously. And certainly in the case where you're asking for any kind of substantial edit, anything where words are changed, you can be quite confident that it will be watermarking your text, your IP, as if it came from and was authored by Claude. And yes, that is as much a problem for me as it is for the rest of us. I don't like it either. And I think it's a very poor choice.
That's quite concerning. So if just with your own intellectual property and you're putting it through these platforms.
Exactly. It's terrible.
That's 100% with that for sure. And I want to play another video, last one on the whole Claude and watermarking thing. I know we covered it last week, but it was still so new. And I've found other articles. I know last week there was a tool. So there's going to be a tool for this one too. And I actually like this one better. So let me show you all. It's a short video and then I will show you this watermarking tool she developed. And this is one of the experts that I trust.
Here's how to remove the Claude watermark for free. ChatGPT and Claude now watermark text, but you can easily remove it from both. So go to this website and paste in your text, or you can upload files. This free tool will automatically analyze everything, look for any watermarks, and remove them. And all you have to do is copy the clean text or download the clean file. This tool is 100% free.
He says it so fast, but the good news is I've got it. I'm going to show y'all. I've been playing with it and it works really well. She developed it. She's pretty well known for developing tools and doing all that. I'll share the link too, but let me show y'all this tool. So it's her own watermark removal tool. And it doesn't have to be just for Claude. I played with it this morning. Let me show y'all this is the link to it. Watermark, I have it at the bottom of the screen if anybody's just listening. Look on here, watermark.sabrina.dev will take you to this site. And what she developed is pretty cool here. And she tells you right here the steps. Add your text or one file, press the clean button and copy or download the clean version. So I wanted to try this out and see about this. I'm going to first show you what I did with ChatGPT. I'm going to kind of walk you through the process and then demo it for you. So we're going to go over to my ChatGPT, and I wanted to try that tool. So all I said to ChatGPT was, hey, can you give me some new tweets to post talking about me and how I help people learn the ins and outs of AI? All I wanted to do was to write something. So again, this is ChatGPT, not Claude. So I don't want anybody to think that this particular tool, watermark.sabrina.dev, I just showed y'all, is specifically just for Claude. But what I did is it gave me these 3 different versions. So I took this first version right here. AI doesn't have to feel complicated. So I literally copied it. I'm going to basically demo this to show you what exactly I did in trying this out, and I was impressed. So right here, I'm going to do the Claude rewriter. So I'm going to check that. And now it says for pasted text only. So down here, I'm going to paste that text. So this is what ChatGPT gave me as a tweet idea. So I'm going to click rewrite pasted text. So it's detecting the AI and it rewrote it. And what it does, it rewrites it a little bit differently. And my understanding and my research on all of this stuff with the whole how AI is detected is the writing style is a big part of it. It sounds like it's a variety of things. I think some of it is super techy that I'll never understand, but some of it is the writing style. So what it does here is it kind of rewrites it. So instead of the first line being AI doesn't have to feel complicated, it changes it to AI doesn't need to seem complicated. So it changed a few words. So I thought that's interesting, but it does it basically for the whole thing. If I put it right here, we can see both. I help entrepreneurs, creators, and business owners figure out how to actually use AI. So down here, it's I show entrepreneurs, creators, and business owners how to put AI to work. So it's just adjusting it a little bit differently, but I just want to try this out. So I hit the copy and then I came over to X. Okay. So there's a tweet. I just did it live, so it's probably a little bit different than what we just looked at, but I just basically demoed it myself, put it up. Now, that's not to say, is it going to go through if somebody wants to go use an AI detection tool? It's like, well, let's see if Madeline's really writing her tweets or is she using AI? I don't know. I don't know what it's going to do. All I know, AI detection tools I've played with in the past almost always get it wrong. It'll tell me something I wrote off the top of my head is AI written and it wasn't. So I just want to be aware of tools that might help me. So I trust this gal. So watermark.sabrina.dev, I would recommend holding on to that link. There may come a time where you might find that tool useful. I don't think it's so much now because I don't think these tools are really just, we know Google is, but will it make a difference? Really, if you're an author and you write, Rachel, aren't there restrictions? Like if you write a book and you want it in Amazon, they have rules on like how you can and can't use AI as an author?
Yeah, you have to reveal what percentage of the book was AI aided.
Right.
And they pretty much the industry standard is to use Panagram, which Substack just adopted. So interestingly, I wrote that post, right? The one on my sofa for 8 weeks, but I ran it through Panagram and it said something like 9 or 10% AI assisted. And I didn't, and I wrote that, like I hand wrote that, and then I put it in. You know, there are false positives, and that's what a lot of people are seeing. They're putting in their own writing from 5, 10, 20 years ago, and it's
Right.
coming up as AI assisted. And then people say, of course it is, because it trained on our books. So can it not recognize that? Like there's such nuance about, and like you, Madeline, I don't understand all the details about it. I just think it's inescapable and there's going to be false positives. What's happening though in the publishing industry is people are losing deals, multi-million-dollar deals that were even went to auction because somebody got a whiff of AI or Panagram said, oh no, this is, you know, whatever. And it was, then they found that the AI had been learning on this person's writing previously. So I just, it's a very difficult time in publishing right now.
Yeah, I can imagine. We just don't know how all of this is going to wash out, but it's just good to learn as much as you can, be aware how will it affect you in your work, if it even will. And then if there are tools that might help you at some point, it's good to know. So I like her tool. I'm definitely going to hold on to that because that might be useful at some point. I don't really feel like I need it right now. But also sometimes I'll use ChatGPT and I'm like, I don't really like the way it's wording things. And so that I kind of like how it's rewriting over on that. But also she does specifically say, put your Claude text in here, and I'm using it with ChatGPT, but I don't know if any of that makes a difference. I think it's just still a generic AI tool because I can still use it, even though I'm putting in something ChatGPT says. I want to share something interesting with y'all. So I know I've mentioned before about how ChatGPT has their desktop app now, right? I was using their ChatGPT Atlas browser, which was awesome because it's kind of like a Chrome browser, but with ChatGPT in it. So it could literally see my screen. It was amazing. Well, they discontinued it. I think it was effective this week. So I already got out of the habit of using it because they're like, or I guess not enough people used it. So I've downloaded the new app, desktop app on both of my laptops, and I'm not really digging it all that much. I have found that it's not, some of the stuff on desktop is not carrying over to the app and vice versa, but I just need to spend more time on it. But here's the thing. So I've been trying to spend more time on this. I'm like, I just need to decide, am I just going to use this in the .com on Chrome, or should I be, because there's all these other features you get on the desktop app. So a couple of days ago, I noticed my MacBook Air, which is not my main computer, but I do use it daily. I noticed it was not holding a charge very long. So I was freaking out because I was thinking, sometimes the battery will just all of a sudden, it's just boom. Okay, you either need to get a new battery if you can, or just get a new computer. And that was the only problem because it's a MacBook Air. It's not super powerful, but I like it for just around the home. It's lightweight, and I use it for lightweight things, not anything major and heavy, certainly not video editing and stuff, unless I'm using a desktop app, not something like Camtasia that needs a lot more power. I'm thinking it's the battery. The laptop is from 2020, so I wasn't sure what to do. So I'm like, I ought to see if ChatGPT can help me. So it had me open the activity monitor, and I kind of know what that is. I don't think I've looked at that probably not since I've had this particular laptop. It's something I remember from a long time ago, but it had me go look at that. And it basically was telling me the energy impact from the ChatGPT desktop app was just sucking out everything out of my computer. And here was what's so funny. I wasn't even using it. It was open, but I wasn't using it. And because it's a standalone app, it was in the bottom tray. But on my computer, you have to put your mouse down at the bottom to show you your bottom tray. I don't have it up at all times. So I didn't even see it. I wasn't paying attention. So it's been open on that laptop for who knows how long, right? I noticed this battery drain going on for probably close to a week. And I was really freaking out. I was like,
Wow.
dang, I've never had to charge my laptop so much. It was just the funniest thing. So I was curious if other people are having this problem too. So I had ChatGPT do a deep dive. I said, find out. I want you to go do a deep dive and find out, is this an issue? It found that, yeah, this was being talked about, especially in Reddit, that people were having issues with this. My lesson in this was I was having a computer issue and I'm like, is this the battery? I don't know. Let me ask ChatGPT. So I had a conversation and then it told me what to go check. And I did a screenshot. I fed it to it. Let me show you the screenshot. And you can see at the top, ChatGPT, it was the energy it was using, 407.3 compared to the next highest, which is the activity monitor itself, 32.1.
That's insane.
And then the 12-hour power is 783 versus your Google Chrome browser. It took one look at this and said, your problem is the ChatGPT app. I'm like,
that's
crazy. I didn't even realize I had it opened in my computer because I couldn't see it. So big lesson learned. So yeah, it was just sucking up the battery and the resources. Like I said, this is not a laptop I use for heavy duty stuff, but it was just sucking it all out. And
crazy. It's good that you checked that though.
Yeah, because it did. I had it go look for, are people talking about this? I wanted to do a deep dive and it found that other people were talking about it. Now, ChatGPT did tell me that this doesn't prove that every ChatGPT Mac app installation has a problem. It was like, oh, this could have been a bug or some kind of runaway process. But when I took the screenshot before, like here's what my computer's doing, and then after it told me, oh, you need to close the app. I'm like, oh my God, close the app. Then I did another screenshot and it was like, oh yeah, night and day.
Wow.
So Chad helped me determine, because I was like thinking, oh, can I get a new battery? I don't even know how to do that on a Mac. But I figured ChatGPT will help me figure out and assess this so I can figure out what to do. So for now, I'm just going to stick with the ChatGPT in the browser. I'm scared to use this app now.
I would be too. That's insane.
It's just
That's a huge amount of power.
Yeah, the lesson I learned was don't always assume the thing you think it is. It might be something else. I was already putting in my head like, oh, great, I got to get a new one. I like having my MacBook Air. I used to do the iPad back in the day. It's really like just having a big iPad, really. And I know they make big iPads now, but I just like the ability to have it as a laptop because I can travel with it. I can do other things
Big
with
iPad.
it. Yeah, it's just so lightweight. It's like, it's nice to have something like that when you don't need the heavy lifting. So yeah, I was just like, oh my God, ChatGPT can be helpful, or your favorite LLM. Yeah, this has been great, y'all. We all learn from each other. So
Yeah.
have a great rest of your Thursday. We'll be back here next
Bye.
Thursday, like we always do later today in my YouTube at Madeline Sklar. I will add links to all those videos, and that link, if somebody missed it real quick, that watermark tool, highly recommend it. Watermark.sabrina.dev. I would at least hold on to it because it seemed like a simple, easy. I've seen other stuff that look complicated that people put out there. This is the simplest, easiest one I've come across. So yeah.
Thank you.
All right, y'all. See you next time.
Bye.
Y'all take care. Wait a second before you go. Do me a favor right here. There's another video. YouTube thinks you'll like it, but also hit that like and subscribe as well. Do that, then tap right here next to me. I think you're going to like that one too.